Our friend Charlie Kirk is not having a good day. Apparently, he's getting ratioed after attacking the plan to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. So now, here's what he said on Twitter. He said, making Juneteenth a federal holiday isn't about emancipation of slaves. If it was, they would make September 22nd, Emancipation Proclamation Day, a federal holiday. This is about replacing July 4th, just like the 1619 Project is about replacing 1776. Conservatives must reject this. Okay, first, what is this weird conspiratorial focus on replacement? Again, I hear this all the time from conservatives, conservative media. All they talk about is replacement, replacement, replacement. Oh, they're trying to replace this. They're trying to replace July 4th. They're trying to replace us. And it goes on, and it's some pretty dark corners. They are focused on this. The thing is, it's not like there isn't room for another holiday. Literally. And by the way, yes, it actually is about emancipation. Now, factually, Charlie Kirk's correct that emancipation was actually on September 22nd. Sure. But see, he misses a couple of details into why Juneteenth is such an important day. So now, for one, it was all the way back around the Civil War, 1865. So right after pretty much the end of it. Okay. So now Juneteenth was started in Galveston, Texas, in Galveston Bay, when Union soldiers arrived to tell former slaves that they were now free. And so now, of course, since slaves were actually emancipated on September 22nd, it takes time. And so as the soldiers marched south and spread across the old Confederacy, they would emancipate slaves as they go. And one of the last places they got to was, I said, Galveston Bay. And so the Army had announced that more than 250,000 enslaved black people in the state were free. And that, of course, day came to be known as Juneteenth by the newly freed people in Texas. And they, of course, celebrated ever since. Now, this isn't a new holiday. They didn't make this up. This didn't just come out of nowhere. Celebrations actually date back to 1866, which at first involved church-centered community gatherings in Texas. It then spread across the South and in different places of the United States, and actually became more commercialized in the 1920s and 30s, actually often centering on a food festival. So now during civil rights, of course, it kind of got put a little bit by the wayside during that era, but was actually brought back in the 70s and 80s. But it's been around for, like I said, a very long time. Now, celebrations, by the way, as well as traditions. Well, first, traditions included public readings of the Emancipation Proclamation, singing traditional songs such as Sweet Low, Sweet Chariot, and Lift Every Voice and Sing, and the readings of work by noted African-American writers such as Ralph Ellison and Maya Angelou. Celebrations include rodeos, street fairs, cookouts, family reunions, park parties, historical reenactments, Miss Juneteenth contests. Juneteenth is also celebrated by descendants of Black Seminoles called the Muskogos, who escaped from slavery back in 1852 and went all the way to Mexico. They celebrate it too. So just to show you how far-reaching this is. History. I think history is pretty important and kind of explains where we are today. So now Charlie Kirk and the right wing are triggered by history for some reason when it comes to racism. Also, Candace Owens, for some reason, also seems to be triggered. Which is funny because this is a person who says, racism. Oh, what are you talking about? Racism. She was one that actually accused people of racism and won a civil discrimination, a racial discrimination suit against people who racially discriminated against her. Real strange. In fact, here's what Candace Owens said. She said, Juneteenth is so lame. Democrats really need to stop trying to repackage segregation. I'll be celebrating July 4th and July 4th only. I'm an American. But wait a minute, Juneteenth is American. It's an American holiday as well. What the talking about? Now, as far as the bill that just passed, that Biden had signed to make Juneteenth a national holiday, it was massively bipartisan. So, no, it's not just Democrats trying to repackage segregation. That's ridiculous. No, again, bipartisan. In fact, only about 14 House Republicans voted against this. And so you're in the minority there. But again, it doesn't matter. Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson also, of course, was against it. They are literally the biggest grifters and bad faith actors in the country. And they are the ones who are absolutely raging about this. They are stirring up the racists, saying that we are trying to replace Independence Day. Fuck off. And by the way, there's some fun stuff. I want to show you some pictures. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.